Grant Amato was one of 3 sons of Chad and Margaret Amato. When the parents met, Margaret already had a 3-year-old son named Jason, and after the couple married, Chad adopted Jason and he officially became an Amato. Jason said during his testimony that he didn't remember a life without Chad being his father. Chad was described as being very focused on the future and what he worked for, and he was stressed about the cost of a second home they owned in Tennessee. Margaret was the supervisor for a transcription company. She had started off as a medical transcriptionist and worked her way up the ladder until she got to management. She worked from home in her own small office on the main floor of the house. A few years after getting married, Chad and Margaret had a son together, Cody, and then had Grant a few years later. Each boy got their own bedroom and they had a game room and almost 3 acres for the boys to play on. For Margaret, there was a nearby stable that she used to board a former racehorse that she would eventually rescue named Lady.
I'm telling you, the equivalent for nice cars for women is horses. All right? If she has the money, she's getting a pony. It is what it is. That is our equivalent. You know that we went to the car shop, the one with the Vipers in Austin last time we were there, and his wife, ponies. She just brings it up casually, and I'm like, rich bitches, rise up.
In around 2009, a hungry mare would wander into their property, and eventually she was able to save the horse and begin rehabilitating it. The owner of the stable said that Margaret worked tirelessly to get Lady back into riding condition. Even after Lady died, Margaret would regularly ride her bike down to the stable to visit with friends and brush the horses. Grant described how he and Cody became good friends.
Me and Cody had the quintessential rough, fighting each other and whatnot when we were younger.
The love-hate, right. Typical siblings.
But then I would say, my junior year of high school.
I think there's a story, too, I was heard about, last year where it's this rich guy, he was having trouble with his wife, was going to a strip club, left his wife, married the stripper. What does she do? Bought ponies! And now she is, a prestigious writer and shit with this, rich guy came to her strip club and bought her life out, basically.
After the credit cards that Grant stole from both his father and Cody got maxed out, he would just lie about promoting his Twitch stream and steal more credit cards. Unfortunately, Grant's family members did everything they could to keep the young man out of trouble, but all that did was enable him to continue his behavior. Eventually, Chad and Cody looked into the charges and figured out that Grant was spending all of their money on a camgirl. They started restricting Grant in ways they thought would keep him from talking to Sylvie, but he would always find ways to talk to her. Grant and Cody were also big fans of anime and had planned a trip to Japan with another friend named Jericho Fun.
Guys who do this, who collect fucking anime waifu figures, I've always known them to have shitty lives. I've never known a successful man who does this. Every time I look at it, the guy ends up a fucking loser somehow. I have never known a successful person to just collect specifically only anime waifus like this.
They went on their 10-day trip at the beginning of December of 2018, and since Grant didn't have a job at the time, Cody paid for all of his expenses. The trio went to Tokyo and Kyoto and had a great time. It wasn't until the day they were meant to leave when a problem arose.
Cody got into the shower. Grant told me that he was going to go down to the lobby and find something to eat. So I didn't think anything of it. And
should have spent the money on a hair transplant? No, legit, he'd get way more girls that way.
Well, he went to find Grant, and he was messaging me on WhatsApp, trying to keep me posted. And he found him at a pachinko, like a gambling type building, and I guess he was on his tablet using the Wi-Fi.
At first I thought it was weird that Cody would immediately check for Grant's duffel bag, but Jericho explained during his testimony that Cody seemed to have Grant on a tight leash during the trip. He said that Cody would never let Grant get too far away and would yell at him, "Get back over here." This seemed to be part of the process of trying to keep Grant from spending more money on camgirls.
This is so sad. This man is gorgeous. And if he just got a fucking hair transplant, he maybe could look at least half as good and fucking stop having to use camgirls, all right?
Did my father, since it's a family account, and he sent me a screenshot of
his brother's friend is hot. Take some tips. Sheesh. Look at his fitted suit, this nice beard, this hair.
3 charges on the Discover. One went through, and then the other 2 were denied, but they were for my free cam tokens.
Grant had stolen his friend's credit card number in order to buy tokens to talk to Sylvie before sneaking off to a place with Wi-Fi. This dude wasn't just being selfish.
Oh yeah, no, you're pretty ugly. Rip. You're a bozo.
To talk to a girl. He had a serious addiction.
Too bad.
When the boys came back from Japan, Chad began pressuring Grant even harder about getting a job and repaying some of his debts. After an argument with his father, Grant left their house and didn't tell anyone where he was going. Jason said that he ran away during his testimony, which just sounds wrong to say about a 29-year-old adult, but that's essentially what he did. Family members reported him missing and told the police that he was depressed and that they were afraid that he might hurt himself. Margaret said she got a text from Grant saying he was, quote, really tired of everything, end quote, and, quote, just going to handle it his own way, end quote. It turned out that Grant had gone to his Aunt Donna's house and she let him stay there for a few days. It wasn't long before she started seeing charges on her bank account that she didn't make. When she realized that it was Grant who was stealing her money, she wanted to press charges, but Chad and Margaret begged her not to. Cody ended up repaying his aunt the money that Grant had stolen. At this point, Grant had stolen from his father, his brother, one of his best friends, and his aunt, and Chad had to remortgage his house in order to cover $150,000 worth of Grant's debt. Donna said that Chad had told her over the phone, quote, yeah, I'm going to have to work a few more years than I thought I'd have to, but it's okay. I'll do it for Grant. I don't want him to go to jail, end quote. All because he was addicted to a camgirl. The family made some calls and found an addiction...
Why does his family love him so much? He's a piece of shit. You gotta stop having ties to people who are biologically related to you if they're fucking mess it up in life. Fuck that shit. Cut it off.
Recovery facility that would take him. Cody took charge of the situation and talked to his younger brother about his obsession with Sylvie. He told them that they wanted him to go to a facility and talk to them about it. They just wanted things to be better for him. Grant initially got angry, but eventually gave in and got into the car with his father, mother, and Cody. Jason didn't go with them to drop him off at Cornerstone Recovery Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was the last time Jason would see his father or Cody. Grant was supposed to be in a 60-day program at the recovery center, but he was released after 12 days. According to him, the counselors said that he was just in a little rut and didn't need to be in a full program.
You should be able to admit hopeless members of your family to jail. Then they have shelter, they make friends, they work out, they learn some life lessons, learn some work ethic, and stop bothering people. Jesus Christ. Like, if you've tried, he's just fucking up everything. Get that man thrown in jail. Fuck that shit.
For logging, wireless, and hard traffic use.
Or send him off to the military, anything.
It says that he terminated his current phone and set him up with a new phone that I guess didn't have data or the ability to go on the internet. Some responsibilities where he had to get a job. He had some debts that he had to take care of. No savings. He owed the family some money, owed the family an apology. It's very detailed.
Chad felt like he needed to severely restrict Grant's abilities at the home in order to keep him...
Yes, if he has psychotic tendencies, just send him to jail ahead of time before he has a chance to kill anyone.